apprentices, acolytes, and fellow lords. It's so good to see you guys coming into the Dark Temple visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. Thank you so much for coming in today, baby. It's your boy, Lord Dagovere. I know I'm so far away. I don't know what happened to my camera, but my camera has like zoomed out. I feel like I'm in another dimension. I'm so far away from you guys, but I actually like it. I feel like I need my space, you know. That's what I feel like. Oh man. Yo, who do we got in the chat today? Marvin Plank, Turtle Bomb, Daddy Sheev, the Legend Rebel, Dom coming in the chat. Skywalker Academy, Anthony, Anonymous, so good to see you here. Can we please get, for the first time today, ready up? Let's go, baby. Let's go. I think this shirt might be a little too small on me, boy. Your boy is I don't know. I don't know if he's like in the middle of like large and medium right now. It's really weird. But how you guys doing today? This is the last stream of the year. It's the last stream, guys. How do you all feel today? I don't have a lot of takes this week. I think everybody's kind of just been on the holiday. And by holiday, I mean like still working, you know? But I don't have anything like crazy. Also, new freaking stand. I think it looks good. I feel good. If you guys haven't been inside the Discord, a lot of stuff has been changing. I've been moving around a lot of stuff. I'm trying to adult more and pretend like I know how to fold clothes and organize things. Yeah, I don't know. Probably should, you know, especially since I'm Unk status here, you know. Oh my goodness, Reza coming in the chat. Everybody welcome Reza with a ready up. I knew there was something I forgot. And it's the stupid TikTok stream. Damn it. Guys, you're going to have to see me set up the stupid TikTok-y stream. You guys got to bear with me, okay? Damn it, I hate forgetting. Oh my God, I'm stupid. All right, give me a second, okay? All right, so guys, how are you guys doing today? Did you guys eat? Did you guys hydrate? Have you guys touched grass? You know, your boy's over here. I think it's like, I don't know, like a 30-day whatever streak for the going outside and stuff. Hang on one second. Let me set this up. TikTok's going to be so mad at me for not doing this. All right, here we go. There we go. All righty. There we go. Okay. All right, cool. We're all set up. We're ready to go. Nice. Yo, Rebel says, I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Pretty good, fam. You know, I'm really excited. I went to go see Avatar Saturday? I think it was during the weekend. I can't remember. I have to sneeze, and I can't sneeze. I didn't sneeze. Okay, so I went to go see Avatar, and it was actually pretty amazing. I actually really enjoyed the movie, man. And what was also pretty amazing is that the movie had the Mando and Grogu trailer, and the whole the whole theater is getting hyped for Mando and Grogu. You know, there's such a huge disconnect between, like, what everybody's saying online and Star Wars and everything else. It's actually kind of crazy how many people are excited for that movie or seem like they're excited for that movie. I don't know. This is like the third or fourth time I've watched a movie with the Mando and Grogu trailer in it. This one had new clips, by the way, and our boy Mando looked good on the TV, man. He looked really good, you know? It was pretty sick. But Avatar was sick. Avatar is very good. I like what James Cameron has been doing with Avatar. It gives me a lot of like George Lucas vibes. Really crazy. He seems like a very, the type of director that he is doesn't seem like they exist anymore. And so I really like that. Leon in the chat. Yo, everybody come in. Welcome Leon with a ready up. Ready up. Make sure you do the pose too. You gotta do the pose. All right? Pong Krell. Yo, fuck that guy, man. Nobody likes Pong Krell. Ban Pong Krell. Get him out of here. Nobody likes Paul Krell, man. Skywalker Academy says, I'm doing good. Had an off day. Oh, had a day off yesterday and got a lot of done, which I'm happy about. I am so freaking hyped about you, man. That's so good. I saw some of the stuff that you've been working on. I'm pretty excited about it. Anonymous, can you please not spam Paul Krell in the chat? Why? What are we doing? Oh, my gosh. Anthony says, it's winter up here in Pennsylvania. Yeah, well, I'm so sorry. You know, I literally walked out of there. I think it was like, 50? It's like 50 degrees outside today in Florida. And I had to wear a jacket. Absolutely. You know, oh my gosh, dude. You know, I freaking, as a Floridian, I don't know, man. I get like really, 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 really cold. When it's like 50 degrees, that's cold for me, dude. When it's 70, I think it's cold, you know? For reals, dude. Yeah, dude, it's too much. But do you guys ever like do any like Star Wars stuff for holidays? I know that there's a lot of people that go around and watch things. You know, I watch Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Star Wars, I just kind of watch forever. It's always on. It's omniscient. It's always around when I'm doing it. But I don't know, man. I did put on Phantom Menace, and it was pretty nice. You know, I don't know, something about that movie. Every time I watch it, I'm just like, damn, dude. I think Phantom Menace. I don't know why. I think it gets better every time I watch it. It's so weird, you know. Not grass, snow, touch grass. Marvin, oh my gosh, how cold is it up there? How cold is it right now for you guys? You know, I'm in Florida, so you know it's not saying much if it's cold. You know, I did all that work in 25 degrees weather. That's insane. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Seriously, I am. It's winter in Wisconsin, 22 degrees. Oh my God. No, we're good. We're staying away. You know what's crazy is I have to travel for work. I have to go to New York in January, at the end of January. And I feel like it's, I don't know. Thankfully, I have a whole bunch of huge like Star Wars jackets that are going to keep me warm, but I hate TSA. I don't like traveling, so it's going to suck. Anyway, Leon says, it's not snowing in Virginia right now, unfortunately. Do you like it when it snows, Leon? I feel like, I don't know, maybe you do. Yo, Faithful, everybody, welcome Faithful Media with a ready up inside the chat. Says, sup, man, been a while, but I'll stick around a couple minutes. Thank you so much, fam. Hope you're doing well. Have a great New Year's, amigo. Yo, thank you so much, Exo Outpost. Hope you've been doing well, man. I really appreciate you, dude. Hope you've been doing good. I know you've always been on the grind. So good to see you, man. I hate snow, so I'm glad I don't live with snow. Dude, yeah, I'm not about that life, you know. I remember the first time I got introduced to snow, and I was in North Carolina, and I remember my father's 87 Jeep Cherokee going up a mountain and then just stopped. And there was no air conditioning, there was no heater. There was no heater. And we had to wait for someone to come out and tow the Jeep. And I remember what did he say? We went out to go play with the snow, but it wasn't like all fluffy and nice. It was freaking solid and like very rough. And that shit looked like little rocks. And I remember him throwing it at me, and my father is like the biggest guy I've ever seen. And that shit hit me right in my face, and I was not hyped. I was not okay. Thankfully, I played baseball, so I threw it pretty hard at him too. But that was probably the worst experience for snow I've ever had in my life. It's not what they see on the movies and it's fluffy and nice. Nah, bro. That shit hurts. Random says, you make me want to do a bunch of snow and watch. What the hell? All right, dude. Enjoy that. Matt says, I live in, is that Virginia? I can't tell. So it gets colder and colder here. Dude, I'm so sorry. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. I apologize. I hope you guys enjoy all that good stuff. Logan in the chat. Oh, my God. It's so good to see you. Logan coming in the chat. Everybody welcome Logan the Legend with Ready Up. Just finished Crystal Star. Dude, that's awesome. I literally have it right over here. That's pretty hype. I can't see why people... See, Logan, everybody that has said that about that book, I don't know. I'm assuming that on Reddit, because you guys know how Reddit is for Star Wars. So, like, everybody has this, like, thing. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is bad. This is bad. But I remember reading the first couple pages of that book, and I was like, this seems like it's pretty good, you know. And then I also there's a couple other books I can't remember that that always have this like really bad like take, or excuse me, so Heir to the Empire, right? We'll talk about the Heir to the Empire series. For me, it's the second book, which is was it Dark Forces Rising, I think, and that book I think is better than Heir to the Empire, and in my opinion. And then I went on, and then I read on Reddit, and I saw a lot of people were like, no, this one is good, this one is good. But I really liked Dark Forces Rising. It was, in my opinion, a superior book than to Heir to the Empire. And it's not like Heir to the Empire is bad at all. It's fantastic. It's just that is the book, that I thought was like fantastic, dude. I really like that. It's -15 there. What are you doing? Move. Get out of there. Waru isn't silly. He was actually pretty terrifying. Yeah, dude. I think Waru is so cool, man. And the way Waru talks is insane. Isaiah, you talking about the stormtrooper? Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, no, yeah, man. Lord Dagovere says, "What's good, family? Happy New Year, happy New Year, fam. So good to see you. I appreciate you. Everybody, welcome Izzy Torres with Ready Up. But have you guys been watching any Star Wars at all? Is there like a Star Wars that you watch specifically for Christmas or the holidays? I would like to know. Please let me know, guys. Around Thanksgiving, we had -19 degrees. You guys are just flexing now. Yeah, you guys are just flexing, bro. That's insane. How are you guys even still alive? What are you talking about, man? That's crazy, dude. Waru and SE, though? Dude, I think, Logan, one of these times, because I know that I really, really, really want to help you out with your channel whenever you get a chance. I think that you should come on the stream sometime, and we should really go balls to walls about supernatural encounters. I think that it seems like you're pretty passionate about it. I am pretty passionate about Star Wars in general, and you know that I dabble just like you do. I think it would be pretty good content to talk about stuff, and maybe we could even use the freaking clips for both the channels. I don't know. Anyway, but I know that you have a certain type of style that you do, but always down, bro. Always love talking. Yes, I'll preach the truth on stream. Yeah. I know you're a big hater. I know you're a big hater with the Disney canon sometimes, but it's okay. You got me. We'll equal it out, all right? Don't worry about it. Yo, Faithful Media says, I'm going through an entire Clone War multimedia project for myself in the ending of this year. A project I am working on depends. Oh, wow, really? That's pretty cool, dude. Has anybody ever done like book reports and stuff for Star Wars? Okay, so I remember back in my middle school, there was this Star Wars. I think I told you guys this already. Jeez, I'm so sorry, guys. This story time with Lord Dagovere. I apologize. And I remember sitting there reading this Star Wars book over and over and over, and this teacher came to me and she's like, "Can you read? Can you read something other than Star Wars for the love of God?" so I guess she got so mad that I kept reading Star Wars. I feel like that's been like every encounter with a woman for me, but please shut up about Star Wars. Oh, man. What? Wait, 2 lives? What are you talking about? Especially... Oh, here we go. Oh, hang on. So I haven't seen much new Star Wars stuff. Only old stuff, because the new stuff is kind of booty. I mean, it depends what you're watching. I think a lot of the new stuff gets some pretty serious hate because of the movies. And yeah, some of the projects aren't great, but I still think there's some good stuff. I think the continuity is very good. It's actually pretty underrated, but I don't know. That's just me. I like both though. I'm a big Legends boy, but I do like some of the Disney stuff. Anthony says, go rewatch The Bad Batch. I am. Oh, nice. Bad Batch is fantastic, man. I love The Bad Batch. But see, that's the other thing too. I think a lot of the new Disney animation is very good, especially Clone Wars Season 7, especially The Bad Batch. Really like The Bad Batch a lot. I got citations and everything. Ooh, Logan, let's go. I love to see it. Skywalker Academy says, I tried once. My teacher told me to write about something else. Yeah. I think that is the problem with a lot of school systems is like, a lot of those teachers, I don't think they understand. They're not going to have an open mind to play D&D or anything like that. What's crazy too is, they just think it's nerd shit. And I don't think they understand how important like something like D&D is to help you understand like all of these like reading comprehension skills, all of these self-awareness tasks, all of like just so much, including like math and like critical thinking, but they don't give a shit. They just want you to learn algebra, but that being said, those things are important too. But like, I am a dumbass. I'm not as much of a dumbass as I used to be. But when I played baseball, that's all it was. Books were for fucking nerds. This was before I had glasses, so I wasn't really a nerd back then. And then I played Halo. And then you know what? I freaking loved Halo so much that I ended up reading books because I loved the story so much. And then I realized that I sucked at reading. And so I ended up reading so much because of Halo. And I started to realize how important books were. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't like doing homework and reading in school because it's so freaking boring and stupid. But when I found something I was hella passionate about, like reading about Middle-earth or Star Wars or something else, I would eat that shit up like it was going out of style, man. And I just wish that open-mindedness, they gave us that mentorship, in school. And I just feel like a lot of times school has just really just been about like, do this and do this and do this, and they're teaching you like, some of the stuff that you don't even like cursive, was like really dumb. I think we learned that for an entire grade and we don't even use that. But I think there's a certain application of learning that you can use and try to have someone find something they're interested in and then end up learning about that, reading about this. You like Formula One, you like football, you like Star Wars, whatever. Go out there and read these books. Do this. You can apply the same thing. And fundamentals and everything, it carries over, But I guess that's the former athlete in me. I just saw someone come in here and say, yo, hello. And I think it's Elaser. Let me see Elaser. I see it on the other chat, but I don't see it in the chat. Elaser, yo, it's so good. Elaser, thank you so much for being here. Everybody welcome Elaser with the ready up. So good to see you. As I say, Sam, I don't like reading stuff for homeschool, but I do like reading DC and Superman comics. Yes, and I think also comics get a really bad rep too because it's picture reading. But have you read a lot of have they seen the vocabulary in those books? And then have they also like seen like the morals and the teachings that are in like comic books too? I don't know, man. I just it could just be me trying to cope. For not really ever having lunch with anybody in high school. But, I still think it's better to do that than nothing at all. And that's what I think is really, really, really important when you find these passions. Skywalker Academy says, funny story. My professor hated Star Wars, but still used Revenge of the Sith as an example of how to write a tragedy. Woo! See, that is fantastic. That is a great teacher. That is fantastic. I love that shit. Give me more of that. Halo is a franchise in video games. Yes, it is. Yes. Did someone not know? Oh, is Halo a series? Something I can watch? Oh, Anthony. So, there is a TV series, but we don't acknowledge that. I wouldn't. I think there's other forms of media that you can do, whether it's books, but there's also like a Star Wars Visions, which is Halo Legends. I think that's really good. There's like an origin story. You get the kind of idea of what Halo is. I actually think Halo Legends is fantastic media. I would actually recommend you to watch that just to see. Think of like Star Wars Visions, but Halo, and it does a pretty good job of educating you of what's going on. And by the time you watch that, you have a pretty good idea of what's happening in that universe. Halo Legends is fantastic. I love Halo Legends, man. Favorite Sith apart of the Rule of Two. My favorite Sith of the Rule of Two? I don't know. Can I say Revan, since he's practically the reason they built the entire foundation on? It would probably be him. But I'll actually give you a legitimate Sith. Bane is freaking amazing. I love Bane and what he did. I love the way he learned. I love how he predicted that Darth Sidious would essentially destroy the Sith after, becoming the Rule of One. I also like Plagueis. I think Plagueis is very interesting, and I cannot hate Papa Palpatine, man. I like a lot of them. Everybody else kind of but I guess that there isn't really anybody else. But those are probably my favorite Rule of Two. Thank you so much for the question. I really appreciate that. Dago Rage Bait notification all the time. What did you do? What did you send me? Did you send me something now that I have to rage bait over? Cool teacher. Man. Anthony says they have. So that's the other thing. Yeah, Faithful Media is correct. That's why I love both Halo and Star Wars, is because they have very similarities between their expanded universes. Like, they have the video games, right? And the video games are essentially the movies for Halo. And then they have books and comics. And the books are fantastic. The books are kind of like the foundation of like all the lore. It's fantastic, man. I really wish Microsoft would wake the F up and do something about that media, man, because it's such a great story. Like, it is a fantastic story, you know? Oh, God, I love that story, man. It's so good. Oh, it's so delicious. Yes, give me more. Did y'all hear about Halo coming to PlayStation? Yes, that's actually fantastic. It should have happened. Funny enough, it should have happened when they did Halo 4. Microsoft has absolutely shot themselves in the foot when it's come to IPs. And the whole reason why that console even exists is because of Halo. And the fact that they haven't monetized that game even more on PlayStation is absurd to me, especially for a company that loves to make money. It's insane to me that you have not found a way to bring all those previous games on PlayStation and PC before. It's crazy to me, man. Crazy. What are your thoughts on Jaina Solo? She's my favorite Legends character, and I think she's a badass. I think she's like a better Mace Windu. You know, I actually think she's like, I would say like completely underappreciated as a duelist in the Star Wars expanded universe. You know, a lot of people will always talk about Mace Windu. A lot of people always talk about Luke, you know, and other characters like Malgus. But I would reckon that Jaina Solo can absolutely mop up just about anybody she's with. She will drop that ass, man. I'm telling you right now. If there's someone in the Star Wars universe that I don't want to duke it out with, and I'm someone that's as strong as Luke, I'm not fighting Jaina Solo, bro. I am not catching those hands. Absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form. Jaina is all of the LT characters distilled into one. I love that character, man. It's so crazy to, oh man, you guys are gonna make me crash out, bro. This is supposed to be the last stream of the year, all right? You guys are gonna make me crash the hell out already. Yeah, I love it. So Logan says Tenebrous is underrated intellectually. He set everything up. It was hijacked by Plagueis and Sidious. But I mean, like, so I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Revan, though. I mean, Revan set everything up, you know, and why would I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, a win is a win, you know, and Plagueis outdid Tenebrous, you know. I get it. He built the bridge that they walked upon, but still, it is what it is, man. You know, winners write history, and Plagueis and Sidious are, you know. No, your computer notifications always make me look. What notifications? Are you guys getting notifications? Am I getting notifications? I don't have any sound on, do I? I don't have Teams on for work. No one's messaging me. I'm so confused. What notifications are you talking about? Have you guys heard notifications if I've ever? Your computer notifications play through Steam audio. Dude, I've never even heard that. What the flip? What the Jedi Connor coming into the stream. It's so good to see you. Please, everybody, welcome Jedi Connor with a ready up. Thank you so much for coming over. Fam, it's so good to see you. How you doing? Connor, my boy, Daddy Sheev in the chat. By the way, guys, Starlight Podcast stream happening every single week. Check it out, please. Yeah, I haven't heard any. Does it at least once per stream? That is insane, dude. Logan, if it happens again, please let me know, because I cannot stand having you guys listen to shit that is not my annoying voice. That's not part of the stream. So, Mew! Hello, it's so good to see you, Cat. So thank you, everybody. Welcome. The one and only Mew inside the chat with a ready up. Thank you so much. I just pulled my hair. That was so slick, bro. Thank you. Thank you, man. That's actually kind of crazy. I'm trying to get this like Aragorn for Frodo vibe, and it's not working out, dude. It's like a stream. It's like a system error sound. Great. Great, fantastic. It's goddamn computer. Anthony says my favorite Star Wars Legends story. Favorite Star Wars Legends stories are Omega Squad, Republic Commando. That is cool. Yeah, man, Republic Commando is so cool. I don't think you can go wrong with the clones. Honestly, they're actually fantastic. Faithful Media says, if I'm being honest, Star Wars and Halo are the most abused franchises. At least Halo is given a break. Star Wars is just missing its dad, Lucas, caretakers EU. Interesting. I want to read this again. I'll probably put this on TikTok if you don't mind. Faithful Media, again, says Lord Dagovere, if I'm being honest, Star Wars and Halo are the most abused franchises. At least Halo was given a break. Star Wars is just missing its dad, Lucas, and caretakers. I would say that Star Wars was given a very long break. There was no movies whatsoever outside of the multimedia. And even if you are an expanded universe fan, there is nothing major happening outside of video games and books. You have to understand, expanded universe fans, people that read the books and the comics, are probably maybe like less than 25% of the actual population of the foundation of casual movie-only fans. There was nothing happening, in all of Star Wars at all. It was given a very, very long break. And it was also sold because the fans wanted it to be sold as well. I'll tell you all the time, I'm Unk, bro. I'm pushing it. I'm almost 40 here. 2005, I was sophomore year in high school. And after I saw Revenge of the Sith, right there, everybody that in my school was talking about how shitty Revenge of the Sith was and how they hated George Lucas and how they wanted him to sell Star Wars. And then the movie came out, or the documentary came out, The People versus George Lucas. They absolutely hated him. They thought the prequels destroyed Star Wars. And now, with Disney doing it, I will say that, the sequel trilogy is, it is what it is. Everybody's been criticizing it for a long time. But I think the continuity is very, very good. But it's very obvious that the same person, the person that you're talking about, George Lucas, is not creating all the Star Wars stories. And that's going to be the biggest problem going forward. And I always talk about this on the Starlight podcast. But like a Rian Johnson, a J.J. Abrams, a Leslie Headland, director here, they think they are fans of Star Wars because they like one component of Star Wars. And even when you have someone like Dave Filoni, he's obviously has, in my opinion, the same flaws as George does. But that's what happens, bro, when the creator sells their child. It's just not going to be the same level of quality that you're going to have. You really are going to have to find someone who has dedicated themselves to a franchise that they essentially have to learn and evolve. And that's very, very hard because you're not the creator. You're just someone that is passionate about the one aspect of Star Wars you're trying to tell. Halo is really interesting because I think Halo has limitless potential, but Microsoft has no idea the type of bag that they're sitting on in terms of money. And only like, I don't know, not even only, it's just like very rarely will they do something very well for Halo. And I think the biggest thing that they've done is actually making that remake that they're going to do and bringing it on PlayStation, which is going to be very, very good. But that game also has to be executed. That game also does not have multiplayer. There are no standalone games, and if there are, they're probably being made and they won't come out for another 4 or 5 years. I just think it's not necessarily Star Wars and Halo. I think it's just the industry, and money runs everything, and these people have way too much control of something they really, really, really don't understand. It is what it is, man. Yeah, dude, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, dude. Slow the F down. How do we know when the new Darth Maul movie is coming out? What Darth Maul movie? I don't know about it. I know the show. I think that I'm assuming it's going to be sometime during the summer. I'm assuming the animation is going to be sometime this summer because they're going to spread things out. They have a lot coming out next year, especially with the movie and Ahsoka and the Ninth Jedi series. It's going to be a lot. Oh, and good luck on your book, fam. That's pretty awesome, man. That's crazy, dude. I don't know how long you've been writing your story, but I've also been writing something for like years, and I just got I just started the overview. So that's pretty cool, dude. Do we know when... I already read that. Great job. EU fandom pretty abused. Gaslight by the company and other fans that their continuity never mattered. Okay, so, Logan. I want your view and your honest-to-God take on this, because I think you're one of the only, like, diehard Legends fans. Okay, so... I want to read your thing again. The Star Wars Expanded Universe fandom is pretty abused. It's gaslighted by the company and other fans that their continuity never mattered. Do you think that Legends fans also do the same thing to Disney fans? I think they do. I think Disney fans and Legends fans are the same type of radical and abusive to each other. And I actually can't stand it. I actually cannot stand when both parts of the fandoms decide to say, well, George Lucas didn't like this. Well, Disney slop. I actually can't stand it. I actually hate that energy, like, a lot. It's, to me, it's just the same type of people, But what I really want to ask you is, do you really think that George Lucas gave a shit about the expanded universe? And I'm using that terminology, and I know a lot of people say, oh my God, George Lucas didn't give a shit. But I genuinely want to know how you feel about George Lucas approving all of those stories, and how you feel if he actually cared about those stories. In my personal opinion, I think that George appreciated the expanded universe, but I don't think George truly saw it as his Star Wars. But it was important to him, the expanded universe Legends continuity, because it was making him money. And I think there are also times, which a lot of people don't like to acknowledge, that there was some stuff that he actually liked and thought was probably really good. And I'm sure that there's several accounts of this. But when I hear Timothy Zahn talk about the Clone Wars and everything else, and then of course the Clone Wars animated series comes out, it's very clear that George Lucas had his own view about a lot of things, especially the Old Republic and the Sith Empire, which is very different, very, very, very different from the Rule of Two that we got and Bane Path of Destruction. And if he ever was going to make sequel movies, I think that a lot of stuff would change. I really do. I'm not sure what is getting retconned and whatnot, but I genuinely believe that there is a lot of stuff that's probably going to change if George Lucas makes his sequel trilogy where Leia is the chosen one. It could have all fit. It could have fit. But I do believe some stuff is getting retconned for sure, And again, I just can't stand how both sides of the fandom are so toxic toward each other, man. Dude, if you like Legends, you eat that shit up. If you like Disney, you eat that shit up too. But I just can't, in good conscience, hang out with someone that consistently attacks, Legends continuity all the time and says it's not canon, or attacks Disney canon all the time. I don't know, man. That's what this community is not about, that shit, So here we go. Logan says, I think all tides are toxic. I think we've established that already with you. But Logan says George's focus was purely the movies, but of course his opinion was always flip-flopping, which I agree. There's tons of evidence that shows that sometimes he embraced, sometimes he brushed it off. If George didn't care and fully thought it was his own thing, he wouldn't let Legends tell stories without limits. But even if it's not his canon, George didn't decide what was canon. His company did. Yes. That is a great mindset. And this is coming, if you guys don't know Logan Legends, he's on TikTok. He's got a fantastic channel, so make sure you go and follow him. And I appreciate you acknowledging those things. George never once talked about canon. He hated continuity and telling people what to believe. His company was charged with managing the continuity. It was canon to his company. Yes. And I think that's ultimately what it was. I think a lot of it was just a placeholder. And it made him money. And it was very, very, very entertaining, And I love that shit to the day I die, dude. I don't care. I don't care if X person is going to tell me it's not canon. I love it. Even if it has a substitute, I love it. I'm making it a part of my head canon. And the same thing still applies for Disney canon. There's a lot of shit I don't like in terms of the movies, but there's a lot of really good stuff that I like with the continuity in the books and the comics and the video games, And to me, those things are all a part of the story, because I want it to be. and that's the only thing that should matter, General Kenobi, thank you so much, B-Rad, for coming to the chat. Everybody welcome B-Rad with a ready up. Faithful Media also says, Lord Dagovere, ultimately George had his own Star Wars, but he still worked on it, directed and contributed for hours of The Force Unleashed, and jumped for more input on it. Yeah, but even The Force Unleashed I don't even take seriously, because Sam Witwer always talks about how it's just a game. It is made for fun, Yes, of course, there is things that he approved, and there's things that he had... Like, we can go on and on about the 1313 Star Wars game that was canceled. But at the end of the day, dude, like, I just, the movies for him were always the most important. And I'm just always curious about the shoulda, woulda, coulda if he ended up making his movies. Because I think that would have changed the continuity even more so. A lot, The novel was more canon than the game. Yes, thank you so much. And thank you so much, Casual Chris, for coming in here. I really appreciate it. Everybody welcome Casual Chris with a ready up. Someone asked me what my New Year's resolution was. It's probably just continue making this community. I love you guys. You know how hard it is to find people that are like-minded like you? I don't think a lot of people really understand like how many people are in the world, and majority of the people are going to ignore you. So it's cool that I have a few of you guys in here chilling and just listening to me talk shit about Star Wars. I think that's amazing, actually. So thank you, man. It's like my own therapy. Appreciate it. Trying to catch up with chat here. How do you feel about the idea that Star Wars is campfire stories? I love it. I think that's exactly... So Legends is a really great example, especially with new Disney canon, right? Star Wars Visions. Ronin is the perfect example. I really feel like that story is being told by a campfire, or some freaking nerd that's got glasses and weird long hair telling you on a stream. It's like, this is the character of Ronin, and he's a renegade Darksider going around and hunting former or current Darksiders and taking their Kyber crystals. Star Wars always feels like that, especially the way that it starts out in a long time ago, galaxy far, far away. It's beautiful, These stories happened, maybe it was long time ago, but the depiction of the story that you're getting, the actual story that you're getting, may not be what actually happened, but you're perceiving it in your own way. If you think Vitiate is the greatest, Nihilus is the greatest Sith Lord, then the power to you, bro. If you think Anakin Skywalker is the chosen one and, he's never been beaten, cool. That's probably the way you got the story, And I think that's what's so powerful about Star Wars in that media, is that, yes, it's the most unique franchise, in my opinion, in all of entertainment. It cannot be rebooted. It cannot be retold. It can only go forward and backwards. And I think that's what's so beautiful about the franchise, is that the movies are there, and you cannot remake this shit ever, And that's why it feels like it is a story being told, like a true story from beginning to end, And I love that. I love that feel. Sad what the Talking fans are doing to Stranger Things. I don't think I just think it's people, bro. I like... Every single fandom is going to go through it. Just wait till Dune isn't as good as people want it to be, It is what it is, I will say that I think Stranger Things kind of ruined itself with the ending of season 4. And then we know how money is, and Netflix is like saying, hey, dude, this is a really good show in 2015, 2016. You should probably write 5-6 more seasons. But the story's only 2. Too bad. Here's $100 million. Now make more, It is what it is. Logan following up and says, it doesn't matter whether George would have made a certain story choice or not. He would have never made any more movies, and he said so. Legends was the definitive events after the 6 films. Yeah, and I think that's also kind of crazy too, because it's pretty much an absolute. But now look what happens, and I think that's even worse. Which is why I don't know, like the continuity is there. So should it have ever been there? Should those stories have ever truly mattered? I feel like if they really did, they should have kept them, But Disney wants to make money. And what's also really frustrating too is Disney is also making money on Legends continuity too, because they're republishing everything. They're coming out with new cover art, So it's I don't like I honestly, Logan, I don't think that fight is ever going to end. It's always going to be Disney versus Legends and Legends versus that, or even like movies versus books and comics, you know. It's always going to be really frustrating. Bugsy, thank you so much for coming. Everybody, welcome Bugsy with the ready up inside the chat. Ready up. Let's go. B-Rat says, I like the idea. It sounds nice, but it also seems to give the writers leeway into purposefully making changes to the canon. Yes. And I think that's the problem. Because this is what happens when George Lucas sells Star Wars. You have someone coming in that, again, in my opinion, thinks they are a Star Wars fan. They probably are. They probably are a very, very, very hardcore Star Wars fan. But they don't like every aspect of Star Wars. They're not going to like all the prequels or the video games and the books and comics. And I think that's the problem with the franchise, is like you're giving the power to someone in here to make a story. But they only ever want to put their imprint on it, you know? And I think that's the scariest part. That's the most terrifying part. Because that's how you get a Last Jedi. That's how you get an Acolyte. You know, that's how you get Book of Boba Fett, a Kenobi. And I'm not saying these shows are bad. We all know that these shows are polarizing. I'm just saying that is what happens, you know? It's one thing when Dave Filoni makes projects, but Dave Filoni can't make every single project, especially when it's being pushed by Disney. You know, I think Jon Favreau is not utilized enough, you know. But I think Dave is a lot better than people give him credit for. And he has the weight of the world on his shoulders trying to do anything remotely close to George. You know, I don't think he'll ever get to that point, but I think he's very gifted in what he does, but he'll never, ever, ever get the appreciation he deserves. Because even in the beginning, when the sequel trilogy started, people wanted him to make those movies and those stories, and now they hate him. And it's very similar to George and how they hated George during the prequel trilogy, you know. So it's kind of crazy how it happens, but I'm just feel like I'm speaking facts here. It is what it is, you know. Leon says, that's the weird part for me, that it feels like Star Wars could get rebooted. No. You think The Last Jedi and all these other things are like the worst thing ever? If you reboot Star Wars, you destroy everything. I think rebooting Star Wars would be the worst thing. If you reboot Star Wars, I just like I don't know. I might like never watch Star Wars again. I just think that is it's sacrilegious. I guess that's the word I would use. You know, I just you would nuke everything. You know, like I just think that's terrible. You spent $4 billion on a franchise to buy as an established IP. And now you're going to reboot everything after you attempt to make your own and add to the original. And you think that you can create stories that are superior? You're talking about the first original Star Wars that literally is like one of the greatest cinema achievements in all of entertainment? Like one of the greatest franchises, especially with the original trilogy in the 80s. You think you can erase that? That's crazy. No, I just can't get behind the idea of that. I think that would be the worst thing imaginable to Star Wars ever, dude. I couldn't get behind that, guys. I couldn't get behind that. I don't know. What do you guys think, Chad? Would you reboot Star Wars? I would not ever, dude. I don't care. I would take all the bad. I'm sorry. I could never. It's mine. Ugh. Oh, I couldn't do that, dude. Do you think they'll ever make an Old Republic series? I think they're getting to that. Like, I mean, we have Fate of the Old Republic. We have the remakes as well. Who knows? You know, I mean, if someone ever... Old Republic is perfect. It's the perfect era, man. It really is. Gosh. You got so much that you could do in that era. Thousands of years of beautiful stories and comics. And I always talk about this. And by the way, I'm telling you right now, someone listened to my idea, because I originally talked back in 2019 about how you make Knights of the Old Republic canon, and is you tell a story around the events. You don't remake the game at all. You don't remake any of the older games. You just make a third game, which is exactly what Fate of the Old Republic is. And somebody listened to my shit, bro. I don't know. Someone listened to that. Or maybe we just struck gold and it had the same freaking idea. It's kind of crazy. Yo, what's up, Supreme Fam? How you doing? So good to see you. Thanks for being here. Dune as a book was always going to be near impossible. Yeah, I think it's going to be crazy. George even said the stories about Anakin, his children, and his grandchildren. It's in the books. At times, they fully embraced. Logan, if you can pull that up for me, please. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I've never heard that quote. Please. I think they should get started from Star Wars: The Old Republic and go to the Last Jedi and go to. I think they should have started Star Wars from the Old Republic. Yeah, I don't know. That's just not the way it works. I mean, like, it makes sense now, right? Because Disney's doing it and they're always trying to make money off it. And then you have all of these new media trying to come out. It makes sense as standalone, like a Rogue One or something, or its own era. But in my opinion, Star Wars started with, not necessarily a prequel trilogy, but the original trilogy. And I think the episodic movies should all be connected to that story. They shouldn't be connected to anything else. I think that's how it should be. Like, if you're going to make other Star Wars movies, I guess what I would do is I would adopt the Avengers template, where, like, there's other movies happening, but the episodic one is the Avengers movies, I think that is the only way. I just heard a notification. I heard the notification. You know what it is, Logan? It's my USBs unplugging and plugging in by themselves. That's what it is. Because my PC is so faulty and trash. So I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, it happens. And dude, I have a fat ass. Okay, so if I move and I hit my PC, it'll shake the whole goddamn room. And then the USBs will come out, okay? I'm only telling you guys for education and understanding, all right? That's all I'm telling you for. Nothing else, okay? Oh, my God, Eldor. It's been so long, my guy. Yo, Eldor, please. Everybody, welcome Eldor with a ready up. Buddy, it's caked up yet. And, man, you know. What does Connor always say? Impossible. I love it, dude. Hey, but long time. I think the hardest part of everyone's commitment to canon, while the story truly needs to be there, it keeps from just enjoying the stories for what they truly are. Yes, exactly. I don't disagree with what you're saying. That's my thing with Star Wars Visions is, like, I love Star Wars Visions. I think Star Wars Visions is amazing. But then, like, there's so many people that really want it to be canon and don't take it seriously or watch it at all because it's not canon, Especially this last season. This last volume was phenomenal, And just wait till Ninth Jedi. I don't know. You may have to wait till Ninth Jedi, guys. I'm telling you right now, Ninth Jedi may be too good, baby. Too good. If you guys don't like anime, I get it. But please, watch the Ninth Jedi series for me, all right? Thank you. George Lucas quote in the Discord, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will definitely take a look at it probably after. Pasho. Thank you. Thank you so much, Logan. Appreciate you. Because then you can better understand the damage Palpatine did. Do you think Star Wars should belong only to the fans? No, because the fans are making fucking AI shit. No, I would like. That is exactly why. I think a lot of the fans are no better than the billionaires that run a lot of Hollywood. They're not storytellers. And I'm not saying every fan is not a storyteller or doesn't know it's good. It's just there's a difference between great ideas and someone that is exceptionally talented in executing these projects. That is the difference. Lucasfilm should be in charge of Star Wars. There are people in that building that have been doing it as long as George. George has handpicked a lot of those people, and that's what's crazy, Like, the other thing is there's also people in that building that don't appreciate some of the expanded universe. And I get it, I understand, But I think that's also the same type of dogma that failed the Jedi, For instance, you have Timothy Zahn sitting right there. And he's been writing Star Wars stories longer than Dave Filoni. And I'm not attacking Dave Filoni. I'm not saying he's bad. Okay? I'm not saying that because I love Dave. He's my boy. But I'm saying, why not utilize all of the talent that you have? You know? That's what I'm talking about, man. And if your boy Lord Dagovere was in this shit, I'd be on Timothy Zahn's doorstep, Chris Avalon's doorstep, and I'd be getting Matthew Stover and all these other people, and I'm saying, no, you're not doing this effing story. You're a part of this now, okay? I don't give a shit what you're doing. I'm paying for this. Tony Gilroy is not leaving the fucking house. You guys are the new cast and round table for this, and we are making Star Wars stories for the next 20 years. Forward and backward, thousands of years. This is how it is, and that's how it should have been. But I'm just some guy that's yelling into a mic, so no one gives a shit what I think. So, but that's what I would do. I think that's how it should have been done, you know. But you know, it's not even like when I say Timothy Zahn and Tony Gilroy and Matthew Stover and all these people, I'm giving you attributes and ingredients to use and to cook with. It is not we are only using this one person. No. It's all of these ideas are coming together to create a like-minded whatever to create stories, you know? There are things we're not going to agree on. There are styles that are going to be different, and we are going to make a good fucking story, you know? That's how I would do it, you know? I think the High Republic got it right. The only issue with the High Republic is it was a shit ton of new writers, you know? Kevin Scott is amazing. Charles Soule is amazing, you know? Justina and Claudia Gray, all of them, fantastic, you know? But I just don't understand why it couldn't be done for everything else in a larger perspective. Maybe it is, you know? I don't know. I'm not in the building, you know? I'm just speaking, you know? I think more audio dramas. I think comics need to be created into audio dramas. Or at the very least, visual dramas, if that makes any sense. You have all of those freaking comics, and you know how many people don't like reading, even if it is pictures? Why can't you just do what everybody else is doing on YouTube? Hire a fan! Hire a fan to do it! You know? It's crazy, dude. Yeah, you know. Dago, I have multiple videos exploring George's relationship with Legends. It's very enlightening and how... Yeah, Logan, if you want to, you know, we could probably do some projects... I would love to help educate people on how much George was either involved or appreciated it. Because I think we all know the answer. Obviously, it's not as important as the movies, and we're not going to be able to make the blind see. But I would like to, at the very least, you know, create something to help people understand the fine line of what he gave a shit about and what he didn't, you know. I think that's really good. Casual says, I love Tales of the Jedi audio dramas, even some with issues. I can never find them. Does anybody know where you can actually find them? Because I cannot find them, man. I've heard them like when I was way younger. Fateful Media says, Star Wars is bigger than any one group or company can contain. Also, do you have any Jason or Jaina models? Models in terms of what? Like Figmas? I do not. Figmas are stuff I don't. You know, Star Wars is bigger than one group or a company. Yes, and I agree with that too. And that's the problem. You know, because I don't know what's going to happen to Star Wars when a lot of these people are gone and are tired and are old, and then have to move on. You know, people criticize Dave Filoni a lot, but what happens when he leaves? You know? You know, I think a lot of people don't understand, too, is like how close AI is to dominating Star Wars. What happens when what happens when Doug leaves? You know? All the artists leaves. When all the writers, all the story. A lot of people may think, thank God, yes, good, clean house. No, dude, like... This isn't football. We can't just hit the reset button and hope we draft a franchise quarterback. That's not how it happens, man. Who are you going to draft? You know? You gonna draft me? Yeah, I got great ideas, but it doesn't mean I can make a good story. You know, it doesn't mean I can hire people to execute shit really well. You need people that have been in the industry. You need people that know what the hell they're doing. You know, I can sit here and I can make ideas all the time. That's what I got hired for. That was one of my main jobs in production and doing stories. I can't tell you about them yet, but one of the main things I was doing was making great effing ideas. But you know what? We needed to hire a writer because I couldn't write for shit. I could barely write my name. You know, we needed to write someone, we needed to have a producer, someone that had experience, you know, someone that understood about this talent, that person, who we're going to hire for this, how much money needs to be put into this. Like, there's a lot of things, guys, you know, for one single story. And then you put money into it, thousands of dollars, sometimes millions, like the Ben Solo project. And you know what happens? It gets shelved because someone didn't like it, you know? And that's happened to a lot of the stuff I worked on that one I thought was amazing. And stuff I can't even talk about because it was too good. You know? And it's really frustrating because I just don't think that there's a lot of people that get it. Yeah, because a lot of them have either changed and done something else or you can't find them anymore, man. You can't. It's very difficult to make a team. And George was the captain. And you remove him from the boat, and no one can sail. It's very difficult, guys. You know, I don't really think people understand how hard it is and how lucky we are to have someone like Doug Chiang and Filoni still there. Even someone like Sam Witwer, you know, those people are very important to the franchise. And the day that they remove themselves from Star Wars, it's going to be a very sad day. You know. Which question, Marvin? I know we're getting close here. TikTok, thank you so much, everybody. We're going to be ending the stream over here, and then we're going to be going over to YouTube. Thank you so much. TikTok streams are so weird, bro. Guys, I got the weirdest people in TikTok. I get the weirdest people on TikTok, man. People asking the craziest questions. It has nothing to do about Star Wars. They just asking about, like, insane things, man. The stream cut out again. Is the stream cutting out again for me, or is it cutting out for him? I love this series, but my trust... wait. Ahsoka Season 2 is the last time I'm putting my faith in this company. I love this series, but my trust in them is almost gone. I don't believe that, Leon. You'll always come back, you know. How wired exactly? What do you mean? Hey, thank you so much, B-Rat. Appreciate it. How wired? I'm so confused. Can you give me more context, Faithful? I really appreciate it. Casual says, what do you think of the X-Wing series? Do you prefer... What is this? I actually don't know what that is, Chris. Crossing? The Crossing series? Is that a... I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Is that something else? Is that not Star Wars? I'm so sorry. I don't know. Oh, the X-Wing! Okay, sorry, yes. So I haven't read X-Wing in its entirety, but as I'm going through New Jedi Order, which is right in the back, you guys can see it right over there, people are telling me to read X-Wing first. So I feel like X-Wing is like super slept on, like a lot. Yeah, and plus I hear like there's like a lot of amazing stuff that happens in X-Wing, and then when you get to New Jedi Order, it's even better if you read X-Wing first. So I may have to like go down that path. I don't know, Logan. What do you think? I'm not letting the past die like The Last Jedi wanted me to. I love it, dude. That is so funny, man. All right, guys, we have a couple more questions here, and then we'll head out. It's okay, Casual. Don't worry about it, fam. Yeah, I meant how weird is... oh, no, it's... Yeah, it's not even the TikTok following. I think it's just people on TikTok trying to come in and, like, be a part of the stream. And then they're asking me... I can't even say stuff on here, you know? I can't even say stuff on here that they ask me. It's actually really crazy. Yeah, man. Nah, dude. Oh, my God, dude. It's the worst, dude. So, I think... So I just want to say, guys, I'm about 200 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers. And I just wanted to take this time to be mushy-gushy on you guys and cringe as fuck to say thank you for coming into the streams and just enjoying yourself, talking about the shit that you hate, disagreeing with me, calling me out about stupid-ass takes, you know. I really appreciate it, guys. You know, so thank you. I hope that we can get to 10K subscribers. Nothing is for certain in this world. The future is not written, you know. Internet can be dead tomorrow. I could die. You guys could hate Star Wars, whatever it is. But I just want to say I'm glad in this moment that we've allowed to build something in this stuff, you know. I really appreciate you guys, you know. Logan, Leon, you know, sometimes you guys, you know, seem like the biggest haters, and it's okay. I understand, you know. But I'm so glad you're here. You know, Jedi Academy, my boy, Faithful Media, of course, coming in here. Last couple streams. Oh, my gosh, dude. Daddy Sheev, Logan, Reza, Kat, everyone there. Everybody chilling. B-Rad, Laser. My boy, David Torres also hasn't been here. I think his phone broke or something. I can't remember. I just want to say thank you, guys. You know, I know obviously that I am not a Star Wars theory or a Star Wars explained or Eckhart's ladder. I don't know if we'll ever get to that point. I don't know, but I'm glad that I'm here. You know, I do want to have a vast community, but my community is already vast because of the type of characters that I have in this chat. You know, so I really appreciate it. You know, Eckhart's. Yeah, you know, I had a couple interactions with him, and he was not nice, you know. And you know, it is what it is. You know, people are going through stuff. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to judge anybody, but I will never forget the way people treat me. You know, so yeah, I actually, you know, who I like a lot actually is 100% Star Wars. I like 100% Star Wars. I've actually been watching their videos like a lot, and I know they don't make as much videos, but I really appreciate people acknowledging and interacting, and also when they do, even when it's very, 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 very small, the way that they hold themselves up. And yeah, really appreciate that. Go watch 100% Star Wars. That person's cool, you know. Yeah, really, really appreciate that. But outside of that, it's just my boy Daddy Sheep, Jedi Connor, doing the things. Logan Legends, of course. Luke's pretty cool. There's a lot of really cool people out there, you know. I'm just glad that we were able to do this with you guys, man. It's been awesome. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that next year we're gonna kick ass, baby. I would, if I get 10K in January, I'm gonna try so hard to get 20K. That's gonna be really difficult, but I just want to keep going, guys, you know. So if you guys got any friends, you know, maybe someone has like 200 friends or something, hey, man, tell them to subscribe so we get this 10K and then go on. But I love you guys, man. It's been so fun. Join the Discord if you haven't already. I don't care if you like The Last Jedi or not, bro, you know, or if you hate Legends or you love Revan, get in this Discord, bro. We're going to continue to create some awesome stuff here, you know. I definitely need moderators, though. My moderators aren't around. I have no royal guards. So maybe we'll do some promotions or something in the chat, dude. Yeah, dude. Thank you so much, Raze. Appreciate you. Absolutely, Leon. Yeah, gonna hit 10K. Yeah, it's happening right now, bro. We're so close, dude. You're welcome, mate. You're one of the guys I love to chill with, and yeah, always, dude. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm very loud in real life. I don't know if you guys could tell. I'm freaking loud. Okay. Oh yeah, dude. I love the smaller channels. They have some of the coolest things. Yeah, slowly but surely, man. He does KOTOR content. Yes, 100% does. Corey's Datapad is nice. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that up. How would you introduce Old Republic to Star Wars? I think the best way so Andor has done it perfectly. Andor has already introduced the Old Republic, and it's the Rakatans. Like that's how you do it. Tony Gilroy doesn't know a damn thing about the Old Republic, but him putting the Rakatan stuff in both 2 seasons, you know, is fantastic. That's how you do it. You know, that you enter it into a Star Wars story that is already there, that's important, and there you go. A whole Old Republic this. You know, Rakatan this. You know, Starforge that. Bastila Shan this. You know, that's the type of stuff that you should be doing. Mandalorian Wars this. It's this little breadcrumbs that eventually lead back into something that everyone's going to want to feast on. That's how you do it. You tease them with the taste that they crave. And that taste is the Old Republic. That's how I would do it. Court Daddy Pet is actually is Eckhart's co-host, but he's more chill and actually still focused on Legend. That's cool. I like that. Another peak stream. 10K will be here soon. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that, guys. Howdy, sir. I'm happy to have finally caught. Yo, Sweet Tea. So good to see you. Thank you, sir. Everybody welcome Sweet Tea in the final moments of their stream with a ready up. So good to see you. Glad I found your channel and content. Same, dude. I'm just glad you guys had the courage to come in here and speak and then be around me. You know, that's really cool. You know, I know I'm really freaking hard to deal with sometimes, man, but I really appreciate you guys. How good do you think Mando and Grogu is going to be? I think Mando and Grogu is going to be a solid 8 out of 10. I would say it's going to be Skeleton Crew, but better. It's probably going to give you the same vibes that Mando season 1 and 2 did. But I think that people are probably going to not like it because it's not the cool thing to like anymore. But I will tell you, as I've always told you, every time I've gone to see movies, everybody's very loud and excited and clapping when they see the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I think it's going to be a good movie. I don't think it's going to change Star Wars or evolve it. I just think it's going to be solid because it's Jon Favreau. You know, I'm not very confident in the movie, but I feel there's a chance it could surprise us all. I'm going to challenge you, Leon. And I'm going to challenge you on every project, Leon. I want you to go in there and have no feelings. I don't want you to say it's going to be bad. I don't want you to say it's going to be good. I just want you to go in there and watch it. That's it. You know, if you like something, get hype. If you don't like anything, don't say anything. I guarantee your experience with the franchise will be so much better. I guarantee you. Maybe you'll love Mando and Grogu. Maybe you won't. But I think 2026 is actually going to be a solid year for Star Wars. I think potentially it could be one of the best years for Star Wars if every project hits. But I think a lot of that really, really, really rides on Ahsoka. We'll see. How are the X-Wing books? They're pretty good. They should be pretty good. I'm a mod in Discord 9 servers. I got Fedora and everything. That's hilarious. All right, guys. That's going to be it today. I just want to say thank you. I've already said what I need to say. I'll just shut up and let you guys enjoy. But I hope you guys joined the Discord. It's been freaking awesome. I get to wear the Royal Guard outright. Dude, you have... I have the emotes in there. The Royal Guard. Do I have the emote for the Royal Guard? Oh, I don't. Okay, maybe I should put them. But I have a whole bunch of... Let me see. Let me see if I can do this real quickly. I'll try to show you guys something before I get off. Just to show you how much I've created and I haven't used for the entirety of everything here. So, yes, I have the cheer emotes. Okay, so let me see something. All right. Yeah, give me 1 second. I actually have this up right now. Okay. So, want to make sure that I have. Okay. So I have this right now, right? This is what we have. So these are all of the emotes that I've had for years, right? So we have Thrawn, we have Jango, we have Royal Guards, Death Troopers, Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper, Royal Republic Commando, 501st, Rex, Boba, Palpatine, Praetorian Guards, BB-9, Phasma, TIE Fighter Pilot. There's a whole bunch of them, you know. I also have... yes, I have the emotes, but I also have the sub badges, which are also really interesting too. And these are also for the community. Yeah, and so I have Vader, and then Traya, and then Revan, and then Kylo, and then Maul. So there's a whole bunch of more too where that has come from, and I just haven't used it yet. But that's also because, like, I'm still building the community, and when it does, I would like to have everybody have their badge, whether it's in Discord or here somewhere. I wanted to do that and like just like, hey, this is your like, thanks for being here. This is you've been here for X amount of years. This is what you get. But yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. Simple Fact is coming back to the big screen. Yeah, it's gonna be good. They're gonna make money. It's gonna get everything back in, man. I promise. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And as always, man, you know where we're coming from. Inside the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. It's been one hell of a year, guys. And we'll be ready to go again next year with all the apprentices and acolytes inside the chat. Can I get one final time for this year? Ready up. I'll see you around, fan. Deuces.